What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Combine is still going on. We've still got receivers and quarterbacks going, so I'm not going to make those videos yet. I'm going to make those videos a little later tonight. Hopefully, they all get up tonight, and then we'll be set up for the final day of the Combine tomorrow, which I do plan on live streaming on the channel. So tune in if that's something that's interesting to you. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. We are going to talk about instead the first trade of the 2025 offseason. And it doesn't directly involve the Seahawks, but there is a tangential relation because it involves a Seahawks rival, maybe even their primary rival from the last several years, the San Francisco 49ers. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's talk about the effect on the Seahawks. This video is powered by BetUS. The 49ers have parted ways with Deebo Samuel. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel goes to the Washington Commanders. And hey, I think we play the Commanders next year, right? They're an NFC rival, I guess. So there's an impact there as well. And the Commanders send back a 5th-round pick. The trade cannot be finalized until the league year starts on March 12th, but typically these trades never get rescinded. So I have every reason to believe that this trade is going to go through. So I wouldn't worry too much about that part of it. It can't be made official for another 11 days or whatever, but it's punched in. Let's be real here. So let's talk about this for a minute. It's worth discussing any move of any significance with a rival team, or at least a little bit here. And this move on its surface might indicate a particular mentality that the 49ers are taking into this offseason, but I would definitely pump the brakes on any wide-ranging assumptions based off this one move. There is another move that could be in the pipe that would really signal a particular direction for the Niners this offseason, but I don't think this move is it. So, Deebo Samuel, given where his career had been pointed at for the last 3 seasons, this is really not that seismic of a shift. Like, you go to his stats, and I know stats don't tell you everything, but you could watch him play too. You could look at advanced metrics, whatever you want to, however you want to evaluate a player. Deebo Samuel really didn't look like the player that he was in 2021. In hindsight, that 2021 season has really become kind of a one-off for him, where he was just so much better and produced so much more than he has in any other season of his career. One of the best receivers in the league that year, and then he just kind of fell off a cliff. He's missed at least a couple of games each of the last 3 seasons, and even if you extrapolated his stats out from the games that he did play each of the last 3 seasons, he would have only hit 1,000 yards once in the last 3 seasons, and he would have done it barely. The other 2 seasons, he's just been kind of a guy that gives you the production that you would expect any day 3 draft pick or even some UDFAs to be able to give you. Last year in particular, I mean, the numbers are not good. In 15 games, he gave you 670 yards. That's not even 45 yards a game. But you watch him play, you see these ugly drops, you see these pretty rough moments. He was never the greatest route runner in the world. He still got some impact as a runner, but even that, it's like he used to be a big play threat as a surrogate running back. That was part of what made him so great. And this last year, he was kind of 3 yards in a cloud of dust all season. He was not very productive in that regard. So even that's kind of faded away. And at this point, I understand. He's only 29. He's only 29, and a lot of people might point to that and say, hey, this guy should still be in his prime, and he still should have good years after 30. But I think we all kind of understood the way Deebo Samuel plays. He had no chance whatsoever of being able to extend his career the way a lot of players have done. He just takes too many hits. He's too physical of a player. So at 29 years old, yes, most players would be in their prime, but not only is Deebo Samuel past his prime, he is bordering right on the cliff of washed up completely. So for me personally, I think getting a 5th round pick for Deebo Samuel at this point is actually pretty darn good. I thought there was a decent chance they couldn't get anything for him and would just cut him. I thought there would be a decent chance that they would just kind of do some almost placebo trade where it's like Deebo Samuel for a sixth round pick in 3 years. To get a real, if not particularly big, asset for Deebo Samuel is actually pretty commendable, I think. And I'm also interested to know what happened with his contract, because I know that his contract is still quite big for 2025. I don't know if Washington's going to be down with that, but maybe they're going to work out some kind of extension, which, I mean, you're playing with fire there. Before I go any further, though, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS. Not only do they have a great sportsbook, they also have a great online casino that you should check out. Do you like blackjack? Do you like slots? Do you like live casino dealers? Definitely get all those things at BetUS. Sign up bonus 200% up to $5,000 or 250% on a crypto sign up bonus up to $5,000. So that's a lot of free money that you can get. Check out the casino in between checking out the sports book. Slots, blackjack, live casino dealers. It's all there. BetUS. Get to some gambling. All right. So anyway, back to the Deebo Samuel stuff. I mean, PFF still says he's okay, right? He's about average as far as receivers go, according to PFF efficiency, right near the middle if you were to take all high volume receivers. And again, I want to stress this. He hasn't had a particularly good season for 3 straight years. He was okay in 2023, and he does have moments, right? Like, certainly we as Seahawks fans have been annoyed by this guy before. He's had big plays against the Seahawks. He's had very productive moments against the Seahawks. So we as Seahawks fans are probably happy to see him get out of the division, but I don't know how much longer those big plays would have been there because, quite simply, everything about this guy's career is trailing off to kind of irrelevancy. Like 670 yards in 15 games, that is getting very close to the point where you're just a guy. You're just a guy that is not radically better than some random guy you can pick up off the street in the middle of the season. There is a unique skill set here, the yak stuff, the running back stuff, but that stuff is starting to fade. So the big hammer move that the Niners could make, and I don't even know if they can really make this. This is something that people talk about. I don't know if it actually gets done because the contract was just signed recently, but Brandon Ayuk. If the Niners trade Brandon Ayuk, then they are betting the farm on their young receivers. And look, Jawan Jennings has proven to be very good. So betting the farm on a guy like a Jawan Jennings would be understandable. But then you've also got a guy like Ricky Pearsall. You don't know what Ricky Pearsall can do in a high volume role yet. You don't know what he's going to be able to do over the course of a season yet. And what do you have behind those guys at this point? I'm sure you can find somebody. But if that happens, that might indicate a Niners team that is kind of taking a little bit of a step back on the 2025 season and trying to regain their composure. They might be on the verge of extending Brock Purdy for a bunch of money, and they don't want to commit a bunch of money to other players that they're maybe now questioning how good they are. Maybe they don't think Ayuk is as good or will be as good as they were hoping when they gave him that deal. So if they move Ayuk, the Niners might be kind of putting it in neutral for 2025 and reloading for 2026. So that's the move to look out for, in my opinion. But the Deebo Samuel move does have its own impact, even if it's not as big as it would have been a couple of years ago. All right, Deebo Samuel did the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. Sign off down below. Thank you to BetUS for powering this video. See you guys later. Go Hawks.